everyone. This is Angela, and you're listening to Homeschool Unrefined, the podcast where we keep homeschool simple, real, and fun.
And this is Maren. You've got episode 114, Homeschool that's fun for everyone, including you. And we're going to talk about that in just a few minutes. But first, we want to say hello to all of you. Thank you for showing up. Whether it's your first time or your 100th time, we're so glad you're here. Thanks for being here.
Yeah. Hello, everybody, and we're glad to be back.
Yeah, definitely.
And a special hello to our Patreon supporters. If you are interested in supporting us on Patreon and getting extra episodes and a community, you can go to patreon.com/homeschoolunrefined.
This summer, we are working to get 10,000 followers on Instagram. It's a goal of ours for this year, and we need your help. Would you consider sharing us one of our posts or one of our episodes on your Instagram feed? And it would just help. I think what we've noticed is sometimes our biggest growth comes from your help. And we can work so hard on doing all these things to get our name out there. But really what it comes down to is you sharing us with your friends.
For sure. Word of mouth is the strongest way that people can find us.
Yes.
So if you are on Instagram and you can share us there, that would be awesome. And actually, if you have a public account, then we are able to share it on our account too. So, we could do that too if your account is public. If it's not, then we can't. But if you're not on Instagram, sharing it any other way, like whether it's with friends or groups in real life, would be great.
Definitely.
Or on any other social media or email or whatever you're using, we would love to have you share us.
For sure. So, Angela, our 12-year-olds are away.
I know.
They're away for the weekend.
They're at camp.
This
is the first
How are
time
you?
I'm good. This is the first time that I've done this. This is the first time she's gone away.
Yeah.
Overnight. Like not to a relative's or friend's house.
Right.
So, it's exciting. Yeah, we dropped them off last night.
Yeah.
Luckily they have each other.
I'm really glad they have each other, and the other kids that we met seemed just really awesome.
Awesome.
I think it's going to be a great weekend.
Yeah, it's for 7th through 12th graders, so they are the youngest.
They are the youngest. I was intimidated looking at all the big kids.
But they're like riding in a bus and doing the whole thing. And so it's exciting. Of course, I, thought about her all night. Like,
Me
I
too.
wonder what she's doing now. Is she being safe? I know she's going to be swimming. That makes me scared. I think of all the things.
Yep. I think, and I'm sure this is common, but I just feel like I was just helping her with like a million different things 5 minutes before I dropped her off. So, like, how is she going to do all that without me?
Right.
I think, but it's like, I need to have these experiences where she has to deal with it without me. But, because otherwise I will. I'll just, if I'm with her, I can hardly help it.
Yeah, you're mothering when you're with
I
her.
am mothering.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, what this made me realize was that I should probably be doing this more. I should probably send her to like a week camp or something. That would probably be really good for her.
Well, and it's different for every kid.
Yeah.
It might be good for some 12-year-old and not good for another 12-year-old.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, so it's a good like toe in because it's only a weekend. But I definitely think it's good. It's good for her to be away and like managing her own like time and emotions and all of that. Like that's gonna
just
be really
for a
good
short
for her.
time.
Just for
it's
a
just
short
enough.
time. Yeah. But the rest of us are kind of lost because she's our middle child, and so like sometimes our oldest is away. I think it's super rare. I don't know if it's ever happened that our middle child is away. We're kind of like, this is odd. Okay, what are we gonna do?
It does feel weird. It feels weird around here too. Yeah. Another thing that happened last night was our one of our middle children. We have two middle, we have twins who are 10, but one of them had a sleepover with some friends too, which that was new for us too.
Yeah.
I mean, we've done sleepovers with like you guys, but like, that that's like
this was a different
like
friend.
Family friends, right? So we all know each other.
Yeah.
We're all very familiar.
Yeah.
But like this is like we didn't, we don't know the other family as well. So it was just I was on edge last night, let me just say. But I think everything went swimmingly.
I'm sure.
It all went great.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
So you just had 2 kids home.
Yeah, and it was good for those 2 kids. Like we split up. Like Sean took one, I took one, and we had one-on-one time. It was real good quality time together, and we needed it. I think that's really important.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Great.
But it's hard to give up the control of parenting.
These are big steps, so we should give ourselves credit.
Definitely.
I'm sure a lot of you listening are like, yeah, I've done that before. Like, I don't know, you're probably like better at this than we are, but this is really challenging for me. So
me too.
If you've done this already, good job.
Give us any pointers you have. We'll take them. Seriously.
So this summer, we are going to be having all new conversations, all new episodes, which we're really excited about. We are also going to be sharing some of our favorite conversations with you within those episodes. And we have one today that is all about homeschool that's fun for everyone, including you. So making it fun and for the mom or dad.
So good, because I think we can easily work so hard to make it a positive experience for our kids, but then we kind of like are dying inside, killing ourselves working so hard.
Right.
So
right.
We all want to enjoy this experience.
For sure. So we hope you enjoy that conversation, and then stick around for all new LTWs.
Can't wait. All right. Let's move on to our fun topic where we make it fun.
Yeah. So I realized, a few days ago that we, because that's about how far ahead we plan. Not really. We have topics planned out, but I realized a couple days ago that we talk about fun a lot. It's in our intro, keep it simple, real, and fun.
Right.
But we've never actually had an episode on how we make homeschool fun.
You're right.
And so
it's important.
We need to do that because it's really important. And at the beginning of the year, it's the beginning of the year, and I'm trying real hard to make that a priority this year. So because it's on my mind, I wanted to talk about it.
Yeah, that's so great. And this is something, like I'm not big into New Year's resolutions or, anything like that. Like we're going to do this thing. We're not going to set big goals and make sure we reach them. But this is something I can get on board with.
Yeah. A goal for fun.
Yeah. And it seems frivolous to say that, or seems silly. I think it can sound that way, but I do think it's as important as probably any other goal we set.
Right. For sure.
Yep.
All right, let's start with the why. Why do you think it's important to make it fun, Maren?
Well, I mean, you're asking an ENFP who my life needs to be fun. So, I think it's really inefficient to do boring things. And here's why. Hear me out.
Okay.
I think when you do boring things, when you do things that aren't engaging, I would say, they're just not going to stick. And so you have to spend more time doing them. And then it becomes more boring. And so it's kind of like this ugly cycle of, not fun, not fun, not fun. And it gets, worse and worse. So it just... And the learning just is not going to be as effective.
Right.
I don't think.
That makes a lot of sense, and I hear you. I just want to say I think there is a just a notion out there among people that, and especially, I mean, I can think of maybe myself. I maybe used to think this, or I can think of people who think this, that if sometimes you have to do things that aren't fun and are boring.
It's so true.
And you have to learn how to do that.
You do have to learn to do those things. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah. But it doesn't have to be all day, every day. It doesn't have to be like the majority of what you're doing. Just so you can learn that skill.
It just can't be like a day of doing not fun things all day long.
Right.
We just can't. You cannot. The learning just isn't going to be there.
Right. It's not. So you might be learning how to do things that are not fun. But you're not learning more than that.
But what I would like to teach my children is, yes, you are going to have to do tough things in your life, things you don't want to do. And yet, I want you to find the things you like to do. find a way to do and to enjoy them. Because if you enjoy doing something, you're going to do it better and longer.
That is so good, Maren. And also, I was just thinking when you were talking, like, it is good to learn to do things that you don't like to do, but that should maybe be separate from like learning and exploring and education. You don't want that to be the thing you don't like,
remember.
The boring thing that you don't like to do. Because really, I mean, that's kind of how I felt growing up. School was, it's just like a boring thing that you had to get through. Right.
Totally.
But then as you get older, like now that I'm an adult, I'm like, this stuff is so interesting.
Learning is fun. Yeah, but it didn't help to do all the, the textbooks and the things that just weren't working for me personally.
Right.
That's not what made me think learning was fun. In fact, I turned away from a lot of learning because of that. So, yeah, you're right.
Right. Yeah.
It reminds me of this quote that Greta Eskridge just posted on her Instagram. Greta Eskridge was our guest last week on the show. And so she just posted this, and I thought it was so great. It's a Finnish proverb that says, "Those things you learn without joy, you will forget easily."
Yeah.
So Finnish proverb has it. I think that's very succinct and correct.
Yes. That's so true. That is so true. And and I think this has been a challenge for me, I would say, throughout our homeschool career. And I'm trying to get better and better at it every year.
Well, I think it's a struggle for all of us because we didn't really grow up, like you said, none of us probably grew up having like loads of fun. And I'm not saying, also, I just want to point out, I think I am not talking about like making a show of homeschool every day so that our kids are completely entertained and, bedazzled all day long. That is not what we're talking about here at all.
No.
But I think we can sometimes fall into the trap where we think, well, it either has to be really boring or I have to work really hard to make it fun. And so we're not talking about really either of those things.
Right.
But we're talking about just like having joy and finding joy and fun in very simple things throughout the day. And even I think it's, what I was saying was, I think it's very hard for us to maybe transfer into this other way of thinking because we grew up with not so fun ways of learning. And then also even I think curriculum today, even homeschool curriculum, where we have the freedom to do fun things, it's just not always that engaging for kids. So we do kind of have to think outside the box probably. And we have to ask ourselves, what's our main purpose for today? What's my main purpose for today? Is it to get through all this stuff, or do I want to make connections with my kids and create positive experiences and make good memories?
Right, because those connections with your kids are the key to having a positive experience.
Yeah, exactly.
First connect, then then the learning.
Right. And I think if those are our goals, I mean, I know we need to have academic goals. I totally get that. But I think if some of our main goals are connection and joy together every day, the learning is going to happen. And when we do it, when we do that, we do the teaching, it's going to be so much more natural and
efficient. It's going to be efficient.
And more efficient.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you have more time to do other fun things.
Right.
Yeah. So, Angela, what does having fun in homeschool look like to you?
Okay, well, I think it looks like a lot of different things. But I think the first thing that I try and do is, and I say that like I've been doing this. I haven't been doing a good job at this. So again, I'm trying to get better at this. Right. Just keep that in mind. I'm trying to listen to my kids more.
Yes.
About what they are interested in, what gets them excited, and then also just watching them and figuring out their learning style.
Right.
I would say when I first started homeschooling, 6 or I don't know how many years ago, 6 or 7 years ago, I did not do that. And it was more of like, what were my goals? What do I think is important? What knowledge do I want to impart on my first grader.
Yep.
Yep. And then, she could, when we were done with that, like go do her thing later. Like, and have, like.
Yeah, as a side thing.
As a side thing,
like,
when there was time, she could be interested in her things that she was interested in.
As
And
like a goal or a prize or something after you finished the important
right.
thing. Yeah.
And I
used to think that too.
And I remember like agonizing because she would play, with the siblings. And they would like doing this like elaborate creative play. And I'd be like, oh no, I need to start school. I need to start school. We need to start learning.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of parents deal with that now. I hear that all the time, and I understand that because I felt that way. So I get it. So I think it's really hard, but it's hard to know like when does the learning happen and when does the play end, or like how intertwined are they, or does this count? And those are really big questions, and it's hard to know. But I would just say with experience, I've learned that her interests, or all of my kids, their interests and their learning styles and the way they take information, it really is it. It really is the meat.
That's the heart of it. Yep.
That's the meat of what we're doing.
It is.
Yeah. And I have to really listen to that because it can make or break what we're doing.
I just need to sit and think about that for a while because that's what I want to remember every day.
Yeah.
Is that my kids' interests and my kids' curiosity is what spurs on learning.
Yeah. More
than my goals for that day.
Right.
And if my kids' learning can be in the center and my things can be on the fringe, or I can just go with them, and
yeah,
we can just throw my stuff out sometimes. I think
yeah.
Yeah. So much more learning happens,
right?
And it's fun,
fun for them and fun for us,
right? And like we said, when you have those positive experiences along with learning, it just all clicks.
Right.
And they remember that for the rest of their lives. So great.
Yep. How about you, Maren? What are you thinking about? How does this look in your homeschool?
Yeah, there's a few different ways I see having fun in our day. Yep. Number one, my ideal fun day would be to get out and do an adventure. And that, to me, that's often outside.
Yeah.
And exploring.
Yep.
So, and those kind of trips, the things when we do that kind of stuff, I do not normally have an agenda or anything. And it's scary to do that because then I think, well, what have my kids actually learned today? And I can't always write it down even. I don't know what they learned.
Yeah.
But they've learned a lot.
Yeah.
They learn so much, and I don't see it. I don't always see it that day. I don't always see it that week, but I see it after years. I can see it now. The things we did years ago are like affecting who they are as people now and the way they approach learning.
Right.
And so, doing those adventures it's taught my kids to be curious and to try things they might not have always tried, might not normally try. It's taught them to test things, like ask a question. It's like the scientific method, basically, like test a guess that they've, a question that they've asked.
Yep.
They guess the answer and they try it out.
Yeah.
They're like, and like, for example, my son loves throwing things down the river, sticks and, leaves and whatever. And that seems like, oh my goodness, we have so many other things to do today. You can do one of those and that's it. And now we need to move on. But in his mind, he is asking a question like, what's going to happen when I put this heavy branch in the river? How far is it going to go? Which direction is it going to go? If there's just so many questions and answers you can find in just throwing things down the river.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. It's just, I see wheels turning.
You couldn't ask for a better experience. You couldn't ask for a better, quote unquote, science lesson.
Right. And here's where I'm saying, like, that wasn't extra work for me I didn't plan any of that,
Yeah.
I didn't plan for him to be excited about throwing things down the river.
You didn't say, okay, everybody, we're going to throw things out into the river now. We're going to try something light. We're going to try something heavy. You didn't say that.
No, yeah, exactly. We're going to write it down in a graph.
Yeah.
And we're going to have we're going to synthesize afterwards. Or, which I think those are all great things. We don't always need to name them those, but we can have a great conversation afterwards too. But so those kind of things, you might not see the learning happen even necessarily, because they might be doing that, 20 feet behind you while you're on a hike.
For sure.
And they're doing something. Their mind is going.
Yeah.
And they're learning something and you have no idea.
Right. That is so good. Mm-hmm. And I think this is something I'm trying to get better at this year. Mm-hmm. And in fact, my oldest is in 8th grade. So I've got 8th, 6th, and 4th. Yes. And I'm just realizing, oh my gosh, time is fleeting. I don't have that many years left with her. I don't even know if she's going to homeschool next year. Maybe she will, maybe she won't. What if this is my last year? Oh my gosh, I got to make it fun. Now is the time to do all the fun things.
Well, that's great, because I think a lot of times, and I feel like I may get there at some point, when it comes to high school, I feel like, oh my goodness, I need to get my kids ready for high school. We have to do all the work now.
Oh, really?
So I'm glad. It's great. It's good for me to hear that you are thinking the most important thing is to, have those memories.
Yeah.
Make more memories this year.
Yeah, I feel like she'll be in high school. She'll be ready. She'll be getting ready for it while she's in it. I don't know. True. I'm not really worried about getting ready for it. Yeah, maybe I should be. I don't know. But
it's like you're, having fun, and we called it having fun, but it's so much, it's like finding joy and feeling fulfilled and all those kind of things, I think, is what we're kind of talking about here. But when you're able to do that, that's kind of like this foundation. That is like this, the rock that learning happens on. So when we're providing that for our kids, learning is just going to happen. Mm-hmm. And then we don't have to spend years on a topic that could just take like a few months maybe.
Right. For sure. Yeah. And I think for someone like me, my personality, I need to schedule these things. I think for someone like you are very much fly by the seat of your pants, spontaneous. You'll, at 10 o'clock in the morning, you'll be like, guess what? We need to get out. Let's go. And that is harder for me. Yeah. That's harder for me. And so for someone like me, I do need to schedule it, and not just and by schedule, I schedule it the day before, or like at the beginning of the week. Yeah, I'm not like scheduling out ahead. But also I need to leave lots of time for adventures, because if your day is filled with, appointment and a co-op and then a band lesson and whatever, you're not going to have time for that. You're not going to fit it in.
Right.
And so you got to leave lots of white space for those things to just happen.
Yeah. And I have to tell you, sometimes these fun adventures don't seem very efficient. like we were just talking about, if, learning is more efficient when you're having fun. It doesn't seem efficient because you're driving, you're getting all the stuff ready.
Packing a lunch.
You're packing a lunch. Kids are fighting. But let me just tell you, all of that is learning. Packing a lunch is learning.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we just had one of our friends today just posted about they did poetry tea time at their house. Mm-hmm. And which I think is so great. Julie Bogart set up this great, such a great idea where you read poems, you have tea and maybe a treat or whatever. And that can seem inefficient because it's like a chunk of your day.
You got to bake the brownies.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. But it was so great. She was talking about how her daughter made this bread and, they made tea together. Think of all the connections. Think of all the planning that they did for that.
Yeah.
And the following directions of the recipe, and they set the table. And I think all of that is it's just such good learning. It's such effective learning.
Right.
And it takes time. Learning takes time.
It takes time, but it's a good memory for connection. And I bet, it would seem that just, hey, let's read a couple poems here quick. Mm-hmm. That would take less time. That might take 10 minutes.
Right.
But to do this poetry tea time, it might take a couple hours.
Right.
So, but I bet your kids will remember those poems because of the memory and the connection that goes along with them. Because they remembered making the brownies. They remembered, setting the table or whatever.
Ugh, yeah. So true.
Yeah.
So true.
Yep.
And those are the foundational things that learning all takes place upon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Angela, what else does fun look like to you in your homeschool?
Okay, so Julie Bogart has a phrase like "stop if there's crying."
Yes.
And I love that so much. And I think we should expand that to be like, stop when it's not working, when somebody's not happy, when somebody's annoyed with you, when there's negative feelings, whatever negative feelings are going on, stop.
Yeah.
And be okay with that. Set it aside for the day, move on to something different. Hey, everybody, you know what? Let's just meet on mom's bed and we're going to watch a documentary.
Yes.
That is okay to do that. And that's great. That's actually, it's efficient to do that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a pressure valve. It's like opening a pressure valve.
Yeah.
And you need to do that. I mean, otherwise it's just builds up and it's
right.
icky.
Right. So I guess that is not something I schedule. It's not something that is at all planned, but it is something that I try and do often because I do not want them to have negative feelings associated with homeschooling.
Yes.
Yeah.
So good. So good.
Yeah.
I love that.
How about you, Maren? Anything else for you?
Yeah. Well, I like to use music a lot in our homeschool, and oftentimes it's just in the background.
Okay.
It just lightens the mood. It really does.
Yeah.
For us. When there's dead silence behind talking, it's sometimes hard for me. And sometimes when I turn on music, everyone else just kind of quiets down too.
And so I have to ask because, music is not my strong suit. And I know we did a whole episode on music way back in the beginning.
I know. We should do another one.
I know. We should do another one. But what kind of music are you putting on in the background? Because here's my problem. Yep. If I'll put on music, then I have kids going, oh, can I put my favorite song in the queue? Can I put my favorite song in the queue?
Oh, yeah. No.
And then they're all kind of like at the computer waiting for adding all their favorite songs.
So, there's a time for that. Yeah. There is a time for that, but I often just put on, when I say, well, this is just background music, I get to pick this one. And I usually pick a chill music station, like a radio, a station. So it's not a playlist.
Okay.
It's not pre-picked out or anything. It's just a station. So chill music is great because it's very repetitive. It's repetitive and this like kind of electronic beat. And so it's really inviting for the kids. They love that it's not like old time repetitive music or whatever. It's like, it's new. Like it's stuff they would like to listen to. It's just, there's no words to it.
Okay. I have no idea what you're talking about. So
okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Chill.
It's yeah.
Okay. Where are you getting this playlist?
Well, we get it from Apple Music.
Okay. And what's the station called? Like,
it's chill.
Chill.
It's chill
it's
radio.
Called chill radio. Oh, okay.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure there are.
I'm sure it's on Spotify and
on
Pandora.
Spotify, Pandora, everything.
Yeah.
I'm sure. And yeah, it's great because it's kind of like dance. It's like dance music, but it's just toned down. It's like
right.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's great for backgrounds. Okay. Background working.
Do you ever have anybody complain about that? No.
No.
So great.
Yeah, and I think number one, I just turn it on without saying anything, and so sometimes people don't even notice that it's there.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
A lot of times, or it's pretty quiet, so it's just, yeah.
Right. Okay.
And then it's also, we do have times where kids get to pick the music too.
Okay.
So it's, it's both. Okay. So then also I listen to jazz. I put jazz music on a lot.
Oh, okay.
Like classic jazz music.
Classic jazz. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I wrote that down.
Yep. Write it down. Those are the things for sure. Oh, and then just sometimes classical.
Oh, okay.
My kids do sometimes complain about classical music. But
okay. I think because you're so good you've always been so good at this, that you putting it on in the background
it's like no big deal.
It's not a big production. Like when I put music
Sure.
on, it's like, Mom's putting music on. This is a big deal. Let's
Yeah,
listen
and it
and
might
see
be
what
that
it is.
way. It might be that way for a while. But if
Yeah.
you did it every day for a week or a month,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
wouldn't be a big deal anymore.
Great idea.
Yeah, and you will like it.
Yeah.
You'll enjoy it. So,
Yeah.
yeah. And then also, I mean, we do like to turn up the music too,
Yeah.
at times. When
Yeah.
we are having a hard time, if there's, sometimes it's just playing loud music and dancing or whatever is
Yeah.
what we need to do.
Yeah. Right.
Changes the mood.
Right. I love it.
Yep. How about you? Is there anything else you do or that you see in your house that is fun?
Well, I guess the main thing that I do that I'm trying to get better at is I try and cut out the boring curriculum.
Yeah.
Because nobody really likes it. And I try and find a different way to teach or experience the thing that we're trying to experience that's not boring for us.
Ugh.
So
Amen.
I feel like because we started doing Brave Writer in the last few years, I feel like that has really helped all the language arts. That
So
is
great.
no
Yep.
longer boring. That's
Awesome.
really exciting and fun. And then math, my kids enjoy math, but I try not to do too many. This is just getting practical. Not too many problems.
That's great though. Yep.
Not too many problems.
Mm-hmm.
Just enough, or I try and change it up a lot. And I'm fine with that. Like I'm fine with not sticking with one program for a long time.
Yeah.
I'm okay with changing things up because I get bored of things too after a while.
Yeah,
so,
right.
So I'm okay with that. And then other things like I try and add things into reading aloud. Like maybe we read aloud about history. Maybe it's a historical fiction, which is really exciting, and it's an exciting way to learn history rather than reading about the facts.
Right.
Yeah.
Totally.
So things like that. And I'm not perfect or great at this, but I am every year getting better and better. Like, oh yeah, we don't have to do that thing just because.
Yeah.
Just because I've always thought you have to do that, you don't have to do that.
Yeah, and I think I also used to think, well, there's a lot of things I can make fun, and then there are a lot of things I just can't make fun.
Oh, yeah.
And we just have to get through them. But I'm realizing as I get older, actually, we don't have to do the not fun things. It's okay if they don't learn everything.
Yeah.
They'll learn it someday in the way they're ready.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
Yeah, for sure. Or I keep thinking like, oh, we can do that when they're older. And then my kids keep getting older and
I don't know. They sometimes they just learn it.
Sometimes they just learn it really quickly and you're like, oh, well, great. Thanks.
Yes. Another thing that I think you do especially well, I've watched you do this over the years is well, something you haven't done. You don't micromanage your kids, I don't think. And I think that's so key to having a positive experience homeschooling.
Okay.
And having fun. It's not fun to be micromanaged. It's just not.
Are you talking about first of all, thank you. Second of all,
take the compliment.
Second of all, when are you talking about? Because I don't know if I do this. Are you talking about like with school specifically?
I think with school, yeah, but I think just in, I think in everything. I mean, I think it's just a lifestyle for you where it's like, you know what, I'm not going to worry about, I want some things clean in our house and then some areas I'm just not going to worry about it. I'm not going to worry too much. Or, like I want you to clean the bathroom, but I'm not going to get in there and be like, like you're not, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. I guess I try and like teach them how to do things or like empower them to do it well or to do it themselves and then try and stay out of the way when they do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like cooking a meal.
Yeah. Yes.
Or cleaning or doing their work or practicing an instrument or whatever. You're right. I do.
You do
try to do that. Yeah.
Yep. And even though I know that you want to have a clean kitchen, like it's important to you.
Yes, I do.
It's so important to you, and yet you are so good at just hands off when your kids need to clean up and they haven't. You're like, well, it's just going to sit there then. I'm not.
Yeah, you should see my pantry right now. It is not pretty, and it really bothers me.
Yeah.
But
I'm sure
it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, our kids don't learn from the micromanaging. They learn from just the experience of it all.
Right, and being empowered to do it on their own.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And then I think what's more powerful is being thankful after they do it.
Yeah.
Oh, right. I'm so glad. Yay.
Yes.
You did it. It looks great.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. So you do a great job of that. And I think that keeps homeschool fun.
Yeah. Thank you.
It does. Yeah. I mean, because when you're feeling like, oh, I'm never living up to these things, it's real hard to have a positive attitude and feel like you're enjoying yourself.
Right.
Yep.
Well, those were some great things. And I would really love to hear from all of you if you have any other ways that you are keeping homeschool fun or making it fun in your family. Please let us know, because this is an ongoing it's an ongoing struggle for me. I don't want to use the word struggle. It's an ongoing challenge goal for me. Mm-hmm. And like I said, I'm trying every year to get better and better at it. But from some of you who have been doing this a while, I would love to hear your tricks or your tips or ways that you make it more fun.
Simple ways to make homeschool fun every day.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear those too, for sure.
All right, let's move on to loving this week.
LTW, here we go. Angela, what are you loving?
Okay, I am loving a podcast. I think it's been a while since I've shared one. So, it's been a little while since I've shared one.
I love a new podcast. So, let's hear it.
So this is a weekly podcast. It's called White Lies.
Okay.
It's put out by NPR.
Awesome.
But
I love that already.
I would say like investigative reporting, true crime podcast. It is about the murder of Jim Reeb in 1965 in Selma, Alabama. Have you heard of this, Maren?
Nope.
Oh, okay. All right. So Jim Reeb was a pastor from, I don't remember exactly where, like Maryland or somewhere like on the East Coast. And he came down, there was the Voting Rights March in Selma, Alabama, and he's a white pastor. He came down to help with that.
Wow.
And he and two other white pastor friends came to Selma to help the blacks march for voting rights. And he was murdered, like, just on the street in Selma.
Oh, my gosh.
And I think people were charged with his murder, but never convicted. So, or were acquitted. So anyway, these two journalists set out to figure out, like, what really happened and who really murdered him. And it's very, like, well done, of course, because it's from NPR. Also, it's personally interesting to me because I was just in Selma, and so we just kind of learned about this whole voting rights thing.
For sure.
Just in Selma, I'm seeing it's a small town. It's a small town. So I'm imagining it happening there. Yeah. And just there's like a narrative that since 1965 has been told in the town about what really happened to him, and that's like when you repeat a story over and over again, it kind of becomes truth, and they're uncovering that as being not true. So it's super interesting. It's still I think there's like a handful of episodes out now. Okay. So it's still coming out every week. I don't know how many they're going to do. Okay. But you could easily, this is kind of like a binge. This is a binge-worthy thing. It reminds me of In the Dark, which we love. But
definitely.
Yeah, so
can't wait.
I'm into it. Yeah. So, Maren, what are you loving this week?
Okay, I am actually loving two shows on Netflix. I know, I did a Netflix show last week.
No, I love your Netflix shows.
Actually, one's Netflix and one is Hulu.
Oh, okay.
The one on Netflix is called Dead to Me. Oh. And it is with Christina Applegate.
Yeah.
and Linda Cardellini, who I don't know. I didn't know her. I love her.
Yeah.
I love her. Do you know her?
I know her. Yep. I don't know how I know her. She's friends with Busy.
Oh, she is?
So
okay.
Busy talked about her in the book.
Gotcha.
Also,
yeah, that's right.
They were in what's that show?
I did not make that connection until right now.
Show that they did. the high school-y show, the one that Busy was in, like, I don't know, 15 years ago.
Oh, yeah, Geeks
and Freaks and Geeks.
Yeah,
they were
was
in that
she
together.
In that?
Yeah, I think so. And then also,
that's a
gosh,
show I want to watch.
Don't quote me on this.
Okay.
I'm acting like I know. I'm pretty sure she was in that. But then she was also in that movie this summer that we saw, that won the Oscar.
That we saw?
Well, it won the Best Picture.
Oh.
And I cannot remember the name of it. About the black pianist and this white driver.
Oh, yeah, Green Book?
Green Book.
Was she in that?
Yeah. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that movie.
Okay, yep. She was the wife of the driver.
Okay, I suddenly want to see everything that she's in.
Okay,
so.
all right.
I really, really like her.
Yeah.
Especially maybe just in this role. I don't know. But also James Marsden is in it.
Oh, okay.
And he's I'm not even going to tell you. But
okay.
It's a dark comedy, though.
Oh, okay.
So, like, you have to get over some things that you're maybe would not normally watch. Okay. I don't know. Let me just say, when I remember, back 12 years ago, 13 years ago, I used to watch shows like CSI. And then I got pregnant. When I got pregnant, I couldn't watch anything.
Yeah.
Like
scary.
I don't know, scary or visually.
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
I did not know you used to watch CSI.
Yeah, I used to watch shows like that, and I couldn't. I just once I became a parent, it just I could not. I was too sensitive to that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
I am slowly, obviously, getting back into because I never would have watched the show even 5 years ago. It would have been too much for me. I wouldn't have been able to handle it.
Okay.
So, but anyway, and it's not even that bad. I gotta say, it's not bad, but it's just something I wouldn't have gotten into.
So it's a dark comedy, about what?
Death. I mean, killing.
Okay.
So, anyway.
It's in the title.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Death to me. Okay.
But I absolutely love Christina Applegate. I'll probably watch anything she's into.
Yeah.
I just really, really like her.
Yeah.
Okay, then my next show is on Hulu, and it's not a new show at all, but it's called Killing Eve.
Oh, yeah.
Another very dark show.
Yeah.
Not suitable for children. Maybe not even suitable for you. I don't know. It's just... It's dark. It's, this is about, what do you call those people who are they're hired to kill people?
Bounty hunters?
Yes. Sandra Oh, who is the main character, is just phenomenal. I love her. And then this other, I don't know who the other actress is, who's the other main character, who is actually kind of trying to kill her.
Kill Sandra Oh?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
This whole time. And she's phenomenal too, just this amazing actress. So
okay.
And the storyline is compelling. You don't want to stop. Sean and I are watching this one together, and we at the end of episode we're probably have to watch another one. I mean, because there's always a cliffhanger.
That's good. I like those.
Yes, you don't want to stop.
Okay. Well, I know the podcast has talked about Killing Eve as being one of the best shows out there.
Yep.
One of their favorites.
Yep.
So I might, there's just not enough time to watch all the things I want to watch.
I know it. I know. I am just I'm working hard at it, let me just say.
Good job.
Thank you.
Good job. All right. Well, thank you everybody for listening. If you want, you can follow us on Instagram. If you already do, we'd love it if you shared us there.
Yes.
Like we said, or share us with a friend. You can also find us on Facebook. And we have a Facebook group, Unrefined Homeschoolers. We'd love to have you join that. And our website is homeschoolunrefined.com, where you can find links and show notes for each episode. And we will see you in 2 weeks.
Thanks for listening.
Homeschool Unrefined is created and produced by Maren and Angela Sizer. Ethan Miller is our editor, and Amanda Ginn is our VP of all the important things.